So, welcome to the Educational Workout Stream. My name's Trevor May. I'll be teaching you how to work out. So first, we have our pre-workout. It's not a protein shake, it's a pre-workout. So chat, I use Proven for Sport or P4 pregame formula. Cherry limeade, it is delicious. NSF certified for sport. That means it's fine for me to take it and I won't fail a drug test. How much caffeine in there? Good question. 110. Which is like a Madrinas. But it's got creatine and it's got beta-alanine. So you get the skin rush from it. So I'm going 1.5 scoops because I'm trying to get yoked today, chat. So we're going to do a full body workout. Meaning there's probably 8 exercises. Or 3, actually 9 probably. 3 supersets. Sets of 3 with a cardio. First thing I do, I always lift barefoot, by the way. A lot of you guys don't know this, but your feet are one of the most important parts of your body. They might be the most important part of your body. They're a huge reason of why you move the way you move. So, I always get into a low squat and sit and try to get my feet as flat as possible for my ankle mobility. Because basically I have really tight calves, really tight ankles, and really tight hips. And this is where it starts. So, or you can do this. Chat, this is something everyone can do at home. I think every single person in the world should be doing this. And this is a lacrosse ball. And what you do is you stand on it and you roll out the bottom of your feet. It hurts like an MF at the beginning. Tennis ball work too, yes, but it's way, way, way less. It's not as effective. Lacrosse balls are harder. And then if the lacrosse ball, if it's too loose for the lacrosse ball, the next thing you do is a golf ball. So I roll out my feet. I usually do a bunch of stretching and stuff too. We're not going to do that today. Secondly, oh god, these are heavy. Chat, raise your hand if you know what a power block is. So, if you don't like to go to gyms, and you like to work out at home, and your wife likes to work out at home, you can buy, for $300, you can buy up to 50-pound power block on Amazon. And basically, it's adjustable dumbbell weights. All these irons are different weights. It's got little ones you can put inside, and you adjust them. It's like Bowflex, right? So, basically, I'm just going to do upper body now. We're going to do our curls and our push-ups first. Those are things that are light. And now, most guys, right, you see guys do this, right? Wrong. Don't do that. The way you're supposed to do biceps is you try to be your full range of motion. So I just try to be, I go to my full straight arm, and then I go up, down, out, and around. Not straight up. So if you want to build like a really tight muscles, you go that way. But for baseball, try to stay here. It depends on what the type of build you want to do. Football players work out different than baseball players. It's very important to me that I'm as strong as I can be when my hands and my feet are as far away from my core as possible. I need to be extremely strong here. As I'm moving things around and I'm throwing, it's all about elasticity and strength within that elasticity. If I'm weak, but I'm really strong here, like really tight, that lowers my range of motion. I'm like a rubber band throwing a baseball. I'm not running into people. I understand that like quick movements like this, like for example, a lineman needs to be extremely strong in this motion. So keeping it short, getting in the short, that's your highest leverage situation you can be in. You can get extremely strong here. That's important. Everything I do is full range of motion and strength. So you want to be able to control the weight. Once you can't control the weight anymore, it's either too much or you've done too many. Basically, like I do basic exercises like curls for biceps, obviously. And then I use the blocks the same way, but I balance on them. So I put them down. I know you can't see me, so I'll change it. So this is what I'm doing. Shoot. And I prefer, you can just do normal push-ups, or you can go on your wrist, but I like to get full on the block like this for push-ups. Because I like to have a space that I'm dipping into instead of just coming flat. So this helps me keep everything tight here and go in between. So I can get my full range of motion all the way down, then all the way back up. So I've had two things, right? I had Tommy John surgery, and I have a back compensation issue that caused me to break one of my vertebrae or split it over time. A lot of what I do is because of the back issue. Usually I do 3 sets of three different exercises. Today I'm going to be doing 2 sets probably because it's going to take forever. This is something I would do for the hip, right? So I would superset those 2 with this hip exercise. It's pretty easy. It's like your normal plank. So this is for your glutes, your butt muscle, which mine are huge, but my left one is a lot weaker than my right one. So here's an easy one. You go into a plank position, right? Like this. You can't probably see me. So you get down into a plank with your forearms on the ground, and what you do is you go up on your toes, and then when you go into the plank position, you squeeze your toes, you basically grip the ground, and you flex both glutes as tight as you can. Basically your core just locks. So you just lock in your core and you hold it for 15 seconds, you let go and you do it again for 15 seconds. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you do 3 sets, you can do 6 total reps of this. Your hips will be on fire, right? Right now I'm basically trying to fold my body. If you guys are lower back pain people, a lot of people sit in chairs, if you loosen your hips up and make sure your glutes work right, that they actually work, like you use your butt to move yourself, your back pain will not be around all the time. And stretching your hips is really important as well, all right? But I don't have back pain anymore. Even when I sit, I don't have back pain. I stream for 8 hours every day, and I still get up and I move around and I can get my hips firing, and I don't have back pain. This is how you know, all right? If you get into a pigeon stretch, this right here, where you cross your leg over and you stretch, and if your hip and your butt are super tight, but your back feels better, that is what's causing back pain. You think that sitting in a chair just tightens up your back. It tightens up your hips, your hamstrings, and your butt a lot. By the way, your quads and your hammies also pull on your hips. So you gotta stretch your butt, stretch your hip, stretch your front of your leg, stretch the back of your leg. If all of those have a good amount of flexibility, your back will not hurt as much. It's that simple. So if you want to do something for your chest, for example, you're like, I do upper body. Most people are like back and buys, tries and shoulders and tries, like things like that, where they target like here and here, or here and here for one day, and they do 8 things. That's for guys who want to get big, or ladies who would like to get really big, really strong. For the layman, doing something like this 2 times a week is plenty. And eating well is plenty, seriously. If you're not building strength, build strength, have a reason for the reason you want things. If you want to look swole and you want to just be bigger, then you got to work out in that way. Okay, me, I don't want to be bigger. If anything, I want to lose weight. I want to lean out. Another upper body strength you could do, and if you have these weights, you can do them. And to be honest, I'm having fun just showing you more than I'm having doing them, right? But, you like to do bench. I don't bench much, but I can. And I'm trying to stick to like really simple stuff that you guys have probably all heard of before, right? So if you like to bench, being flat on the ground is good for you too. So right now, I put all the weight in. This is only 100 pounds, it's not that much. You don't need to bench much more than this. And you can just straight bench. Get to 90 degrees. Straight up, easy. Or you can go in and do the low push rotations, or just straight up, straight out. I like doing low push rotation because it makes me have to control the weight in 2 different directions, and it can involve my pecs a little bit more and my core. Another thing that'll help you basically streamline is try to lump workouts together that have the same amount of weights, so you're not constantly having to switch weights, which will then deter you from doing it, right? So then you can just do some rows, bent over rows, or you can bent over rows here, right? So I can do both, I can do one. So this is bent over row. But I prefer to do one arm, because then I can run with a little bit more weight and I split squat it. So, okay, so now we saw that I do the rows with the bench, easy. There's a pull and then there's a push. It's an easy place to start. This is generic, very basic, very easy stuff. What do you do to tighten and strengthen your lower back? Well, thank you for asking. So, it depends on what's causing your lower back tightness, but like I said, I would superset with something for my back or my hips, right? Because it allows me to get one of the exercises in. So I do like 3 of these exercises a day for my back, and it makes it 1,000 times better. So here's a prime example one. You said lower back tightness. Okay? 1. Here's one way to check what's wrong. When you lay down flat on the ground like this, is your back completely flush with the ground from the top to the bottom? And if you arch your back like this and there's space underneath here, there's a tightness issue. And one way to get yourself flat is to dig your heels in, push against your heels, kind of push your hips forward. So I'm laying here, I bring my feet up, and then I just do most of the time I use weight. Right now I'll just do body weight. These 2 bridges. It looks really weird from that camera angle. Tilt your pelvis. So you can flatten the lower, when you flatten your lower back, you feel your hip pointers on the back of your hips, flat against the ground. And then what you do is you lead with those pointers. So you pull the pointers up off the ground and then you roll your back up. And you hold it and you tighten and you feel where you're tight. Me, I'm in the front of my legs. Again, so that's 6 exercises. We just did some push and pull upper body. And then we added our bridges and our hip planks is what I call them, as the 3rd exercise. And then you do 2, maybe 3 sets if you're going hard. If you're doing 3 sets, do 9 total exercises. So then you do 2 more. You could do, if you're staying upper body, you could do some sort of fly and pull. You could do some sort of combo shoulder, like a wide row. You start here, you go out, and then you go up, like this. That works on 2 groups of muscles at the same time. If you're at a gym doing lat pulls, doing full rows, and then doing punches, or doing tricep pulls, like something push, something pull, something push, something pull. Opposite. You do tries to balance out the bis and so forth. You don't just curl and then do nothing with your triceps. So, like for the last part of our workout, we could add, what I would do probably next is I would add some sort of fly, like probably just go 15 pounds or so, maybe 20 pounds, and do flies like this. And then I can recline my chair all the way back, turn it into a bench, and do I can do pecs and I can do back. Or you can do any sort of laying down row that makes you fully extend and clench your scaps behind you. Is it good for your back muscles? And the 2 dimensions that you get are parallel to your body, perpendicular to your body. So here's a rule of thumb. It doesn't have to be specific, all right? When you're doing upper body, a very simple way to do it that will never hurt you. You can't go wrong in. And there's other ways to do this that are muscle distraction and a little more advanced. Very basically, go push and a pull with a 3rd exercise that is like something cardio or something you specifically need to work on. Me, it's my hip strength. So I do hip exercises as my 3rd workout, 3rd exercise. So I do sets of 3, supersetting, right? Sets of 3, 2 to 3, based on how many things I'm going to do total. Then I usually do 9 exercises, and then I go into my stretching and my Pilates and my shoulder work. This is what I do in the season. So my stretching, Pilates, and shoulder work is the most important stuff I do. The other stuff is maintenance. You guys know what TRX is? Basically, it's just a stretchy band. So you can do a bunch of crap with this. Mostly it's for stretching out your legs. Okay? These are 20 bucks on Amazon. Buy one. TheraBand. And then this is the thing I was talking about. You know, I always say get Jaeger bands. These are my Jaeger bands. We have the 10s, the 15s, and the 20s. This is equivalent of the 20. This is a very, very heavy band. So let me show you some arm stuff for the pitchers and baseball stuff out there. This band is actually really high resistance. So there's a lot of stuff you can do here. You step on it. So what I usually do is I have my band like where you are, the camera, it's attached there, so it's against the wall. What you do, here's some of the arm exercises I do in order to get my ready for the day, okay? And I'm always locked in my hips. Always locking my hips. So you pull back, You go as far into 90 as you can, and this is all about shoulder rotation. So chat. My elbows are pushed as far away from my shoulders as humanly possible. I'm doing this on purpose. When that happens, then I come back as far as I can go and I hold it. I rotate in, and I come back in. I do 10 of those. That's good for building and using the back of the rotator cuff and the back of the shoulder to contract and pull your arm back. Again, this throat motion, this flexibility is very important to me, just as much as this is, okay? So then you come here, you go the way, then you go away from the wall, you do flies. Oh God, I almost killed myself. I can do this under. So I go under my, like this. Again, shoulders all the way back like this, scaps. You extend them as far as I can go, you do 10 of those. Imagine this is attached to the wall. This is just normal external rotations. Most of the time I have a towel here to keep my elbow pinned against my body. And I rotate out. Again, this is shoulder, external and internal rotation. I'm resisting the band here, and you always control it. You can always, again, then you flip it the other way. You flip it this way. And you do it like this. See what I mean? Or like this. You're pulling against it again. So you always do one way, and then you do it the other way to build both sides. Internal and external rotations. Then you can put your band lower on the ground. I'll show you why I'm sitting here. You might be able to see a little bit better. Here's one. This is my right arm. This is one I pitched you. Come up, and this one comes where my glove would go. I go back down. Up, down. So like those are the 5. Honestly, that's a great warm-up. I'm about to go throw. I need to get my shoulder moving. I do a lot of that stuff. Then there's some really easy stuff that I do. Some external with my wrists. Turn around, do it the same way. Do some mini curls. Hold. Rotate up and over. And that gets my forearm moving both ways. There's a lot of stuff out there for those. I do a lot of like kettlebell shoulder isolation and things for strengthening my shoulder because of my elbow. So let's talk about stretching, okay? So obviously just normal hammy stretching. I'm not very flexible. This is a big problem for me. I have really tight calves as well. But when you stretch, you want to spread your toes out and grip the floor as good as you can because that unlocks everything, okay? So like you do normal hammy stretching, completely normal. You do pigeon stretching like I was doing earlier. Get your hip going, curve over your hip, you lean into it, you can turn, get some back pops, right? That's good for it as well. These muscles on the side and the back of your hips are usually always tight. In baseball, I push off with this side, I catch myself with this side. My piriformis and my hips are extremely important. They're very tight, and it's not good for you, all right? But then I do some yoga stretches, like low lunges, right? And then you can grab, if you're flexible enough, grabbing your foot in the back. This is great for stretching your quad. I don't have the balance to do it really well, and I don't have the flexibility. But that's a good one for stretching both your hip flexor and your quad. What's the best lower back stretch? Okay. Good old fashioned child's pose is good. But if you have a tight lower back, your hips are probably tight. Your hamstrings are probably tight. Your quads are probably tight. Maybe your thoracic spine, that's the top of your back. Maybe that's really tight. There's always a cause for lower back tightness. If you're just stretching out your lower back, you're not solving the problem, you're just treating symptoms. Okay, like right now, look how I'm sitting. There's so many people who can't sit like this. I can sit like this all day because of my ankles. Your ankles are tight, your calves are tight, something's tight, and then I can sit up. So these are my yoga stretches. I do these every day. Put my toes in the ground, try to stretch my feet out as long as possible. This one hurts after a while. And then you just go from here, into down dog. Then you walk it up. You breathe in and out 10 times. Right now I could probably get 7 because I'm not in shape. That's one. It's reverse Superman. But it's the first exercise I do in my Pilates routine. Second, again, flat back. These are called roll-ups. They're full-blown sit-ups. Without arching your back. You lift yourself up, you touch, and then you roll back down. But you control the whole way. So this is the one you're gonna love, chat. This can be your favorite one of the day. Get ready to hype Omega Lol, alright? Again, so this is reverse roll-ups. These are up and overs. You lift your legs up. Then you balance. So I put my hands like this and then I go up. So that's 3 basic ones. I do those every single day. Easiest way to cut the love handles, Pilates. Poor. Here you go, Trippy. Here, I'll give you an exercise for some love handles. You ready? There's 2 things you can do, alright? They're a little tough, but here's a couple exercises. You can do the one I just did. That helps. This is the advanced version of that, where you roll. They're called rotation rolls. So you go up, and then you come down one side. You roll your legs around. You go up the other side. You roll your legs down. You roll around your hips. Up. That builds your abs on both sides. Another thing you do, and this is easier. This is from P90X. You lay on your side. This arm goes out flat. This arm goes up here. You lift. And on an angle, you kind of balance on your hip. And you freaking tap your freaking elbow to your knees. And you do both sides. That works all of this. And you lose your love handles faster. Planks, yes, you can do side planks, the same thing. But again, if you're holding contractions as opposed to contracting and lengthening, you gain definition from contractions and releases much faster. Remember, length and strength. Length and strength. When you do an exercise, if you're not trying to build if you're not trying to build your muscles in a short contraction type way, if you don't have quick like football, if you're not a football player, length and strength will build. You will build lean. You will lean. You'll build lean muscle as opposed to massive muscle. So if you're trying to lose weight, you don't need to do as heavy weight, and just make sure that you're trying to get your full range of motion. From a very generic standpoint, okay, if you're burning more calories than you're bringing in, that will lose weight. You'll technically lose weight over time. Okay, you can calorie count. It does work, but it's not as efficient as you think it is. So here's the thing you would do. Honestly, can I be completely honest with you? Find a diet like Whole30 or slow carb or paleo. Do it for a month and be strict. Be like, this is my one thing. And work out once to twice a week. The diet will make you lose weight and slim down and tone up faster, 80% faster than just working out will do. Or keto. You can do keto. Working the muscle directly below your fat will also start. If you're pushing your fat from both ways, it'll go away fast. But your diet will get rid of your gut faster than anything. If you don't eat sugar at all, your gut will disappear. I promise. I do Whole30. I can eat fruit, but I can't have starch. No, wait, that's a lie. I can't have starches. I can't have grains. So there's no wheat. So there's no bread and rice. No bread or rice. But I can have potatoes. And you eat a lot of meat, which is great. Meat, potatoes, veggies. That's it. And you get fruit for breakfast. You can't have sugar. You can't no processed sugar at all, and no sugars from anything but fruit. No bread, no dairy. No bread, no dairy. That's the biggest thing. You can have eggs, but you can't have like milk products. Nothing from milk. No yogurt, no beer, no. Best diet to lose weight, keto. Whole30 is great too. If you're someone who eats a lot of sugar, Whole30. Chat, go Google Whole30. It is really, really easy. I promise. Seriously, pick a diet and become obsessed with it. Obsessed with your diet. Diet. How much do I run after pitching in a game? I run sprints vast majority of the time because I'm a reliever and I have to be ready on a day-to-day basis. Starters run more distance. Best cardio workout in home. You cannot run. Why can't you run? because that matters. If you can't run, get a rower. Dude, the rower will get you going. Or stationary bike too. If you can't run, swim. But that's not at home. At some point, it only matters. In baseball, man, it really just only matters what you do on the field. And I figured out the way that I do, what I do works for me. I throw mid to high 90s, and I don't lift heavy. I don't lift heavy. I have a very extensive daily program I do that keeps me healthy. But I don't do heavy lifts. Nobody does. Do you know any good calf exercises? Calf raises, calf box. Honestly, that's the only thing you do. You can only extend your calves. So anything you extend your calves is good. But make sure they're loose. Not loose. Warm and lengthened. There's third baseman stretches. They're just like anything else, man. Here's the way I would tell you to start making your own decisions. There is no one way to do things for baseball as opposed to other sports. There's no one way to do anything anywhere. What you need to do is learn about yourself and make it about what makes me feel good, what is bothering me, and then you attack that specifically for you. And the quicker you learn to do that, the better. So if you play third base, what are some issues you're going to have? You're going to be on your feet all the time. Your calves are going to be tight because you're wearing cleats. Your hips are going to be tight because you're wearing cleats. You're standing the whole time. Your shoulder, you probably don't throw enough because you're a position player, not a pitcher. You probably don't throw long toss enough. All those things are things you need to be aware of. Tricep work. I did push-ups for my tris today. You can do, overhead kicks, kick-ups, extensions, tricep extensions. You can do tricep pushdowns at a gym. You can do tricep kickbacks with weight. So I'm holding weight like this and I'm pushing back. And I want you to, hold on, I want to try to get this. You got to be full extension. Don't go to here and be done. Full extension. You can do diamond push-ups. You can do wide push-ups, closed grip bench. You can do rotational dumbbell bench. You can do static bar bench. You can do all kinds of stuff. Knee exercises. Again, if you have a bum knee, it's a compensation issue almost always. So I would say, if you're getting looked at, try to work with your medical professional to figure out where your compensations might be and develop a program for that. What do I think of CrossFit? I think CrossFit is great for people that don't need to compete. CrossFit's awesome for getting in shape. Hip flexor stretch? Yeah, I just did it. Look up, Google yoga low lunge. Yoga low lunge, and then sit in it. That's a good one for your hip flexor. Hip steps, another one for your hips, chat. Here's another good one for your hips. I'll try to get it so you can see it. You lay on your side, you kind of extend your leg, and then you make a step motion until you full range. And then you make like what looks like stairs, like this. And you do it on both sides. That's great for building hip strength and glute flexibility. Any tips for me to get back into baseball? I had tendonitis in your left shoulders. Throwing hard. Start playing catch, man. When you get close to the season, give yourself a month to get in shape. A month, not a week. Don't just start throwing when the tryouts start. Start throwing before, and learn a long toss program. There's a lot of good stuff on the internet. Learn a long toss throwing program. If you want to improve your velocity, learn a long toss program and then go from there. Mostly dumbbells. Vast majority dumbbells and medicine balls. A lot of explosive movement, medicine balls, a lot of agility stuff. A lot of body weight stuff. My whole thing is strength within range of motion. That's the hugest thing for me. I have poor range of motion for the most part. Also, here's a great one for my pitchers. This is for everyone who throws a baseball. If you throw a ball, if you want to throw a ball, this is a great way. This is really important to you. It's really basic. It's called sleeper stretch. A 90-degree angle. And you lightly push your arm to the internal rotation. And you hold. And then you get to kind of your max, you push against your hand lightly, up, resist it, and then you let it go. You get a little bit farther. And this stretches the whole back of your shoulder. Sleeper stretch. Go-to for recovery. So I'm starting to take something called power on and power off. How often do I work out each week? Right now, 5 times a week. Workouts are anywhere from the stretching routine all the way through the weights. I lift weights probably 3 or 4 times. I do that the core program. So I showed you those three like kind of leg lift exercises. There's 7 other ones. So I do a 10 thing rotation almost every day. Cardio routine. I like that you said that. Jetman, try this. A lot of people hate how monotonous long distance gets. So build yourself an interval routine. So if you're running outside, say, pick a landmark, say, I'm gonna run to there, and then I can walk for the next 30 seconds. And that'll get you kind of like one step at a time, setting small goals. I'm gonna run to there, then I'm gonna walk to there, and then I'm gonna run to there, then I'm gonna walk to there. And then make it a goal to make it harder every time. That's a good place to start. You're on a treadmill, 1 minute of walking, 2 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking, 2 minutes of running, 1 minute, and just do that for 30 minutes. It's a great place to start. I'd say try that. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you